Right, Karina baby, for the 28th of August. Oh my goodness, what do we got here? Looks like sticky notes, right? Harry's vacation diary. Monday, right? Let's sign Monday together. M, swing it around in a circle. Monday. Monday, my friend Leanne lost her rabbit named Hopper. We looked all over the yard and in the garden. Then Leanne's papa shouted and we found Hopper eating a lettuce in the vegetable patch. Tuesday, make the T, spin around in a circle. Tuesday, right? Danielle and Ashley came to play. We sat in our tree house and made up a password. Twizzle drum. It's top secret. And no one can come in our treehouse without saying it. My big sister tried, but she didn't know the right word. Twizzle drum. It's a good word. Wednesday, so take your W, right? Your 3 up, swing around in a circle. Wednesday. We went swimming today. The water slide was great. My sister screamed all the way down, but I didn't. Someone switched the wave machine on and we dived into the waves. They were really big. Thursday, you take your T and your H, right? Thursday, right? T, H, and then do your day. So day is just a pointer up and like the sun goes down. It's an entire day, right? Thursday, it rained all day. I made my bed into a starship and flew into a strange planet. I saw some weird aliens. They tried to catch me, but I took off in my starship at full speed, right? He went full speed ahead. Friday, so let's make our F. Right, F. Swing around in a circle. And the entire day, right? From the beginning of the day to the end of the day. It's an entire day. So take our F, swing it in a circle. Friday. Friday, I had lunch with Leanne. We had fish sticks and strawberry ice cream. My favorite. I told Leanne about the top secret password. Now she could come to the treehouse too. Saturday. So you take your S, swing around in a circle. Saturday. The entire day. Morning to night. I helped Papa wash the car. I squirted some water over my sister by mistake. She thought I meant to do it and pulled my hair. Oh no! If something ever happens to you, right? Say you accidentally hurt someone's feelings. Say you say the wrong thing because you're a little girl. Little girls are sensitive. So say you say the wrong thing to one of your little female friends, right? And you didn't mean to hurt her feelings, but all of a sudden her feelings are hurt. Instead of just apologize. Be like, baby, I'm sorry. All right? Or honey, I'm sorry. Or like whatever you want to call her. Her name. Say her name. You know, I'm sorry. That's it. Just say that you're sorry. It's okay to be sorry. And even if they're blaming something on you that isn't your fault, life is short. It's okay just to say you're sorry and move on past the situation. There's nothing wrong with that either. All right. So Sunday. So let's do the sun, right? We do 2 hands facing out. We do circles. Sun, day. Sunday. Another way to sign sun is to do a circle and light, right? Circle and light. And moon, take your C and put it up to the sky. There's your moon. You see the moon in the sky, right? But sun, do the circle with some light. And, or for Sunday, we do some like this. Circles, day. Sun, day. Right? We want to see Grandma and Grandpa on the farm. My sister and I helped to feed the pigs. One pig had 7 piglets. One piglet fell into the trough and we had to lift him out. I am going to be a farmer when I grow up because I like pigs. Oh, he likes the pigs. So let's do the days of the week song since we did a full diary of the days of the week. But how do we start our days of the week? With Sunday, right? So Sunday. Oh my gosh. Did Wednesday. So Sunday, right? Do your M. Swing around in a circle. Monday. Do your T. Swing around in a circle. Tuesday. Do your W. Wednesday. Do your T and your H. Thursday. Right? And then Friday. Saturday. And then we're back to Sunday again. Sunday. So Sunday. Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. What would be really good to do with the days of the week? These are the days of the week is our alphabet song to go with it. So let's make our A, right? A apple, B, a boat. Just take your little thumb and tuck it right into your hand. C, cat. D, dog. E, elephant. F, frog. G, giraffe. H, hat. I, igloo. J, jet. K, Karina. L, love. M, mama. N, note. O, open. That's how you make your O, just an O. P, papa. Q, quail. R, rest. S, snake. T, turtle. U, umbrella. V, vest. W, west. X, x-ray fish. Y, yak. Z, zebra. Now we'll start over so we don't lose track. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now we know our ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Baby, I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Want to do another signing song? Let's do Rainbow Salad. Let's do the colors. All right. I forgot how it started. Red strawberries in the bowl you go. Pink and orange peaches, slice them in a row. Wait, no. That's not the tone that goes with it, though. Rainbow salad. It is, though. It's red strawberries in the bowl you go. Pink. I think it's pink and orange peaches, slice them in a row. Yellow banana, right? Yellow bananas, in the bowl you go. Green kiwi, slice them in the row. Blue blueberries, the smallest of them all. Purple grapes, taste so sweet. I forget how the tune goes, baby, I'm sorry. But I love you. So let's do the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet too. That's the colors of the rainbow. Let's do Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a cow. E-I-E-I-O. With a moo-moo here and a moo-moo there. Here a moo, there a moo, everywhere a moo-moo. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a donkey. E-I-E-I-O. With a hee-haw there and a hee-haw here. Here a hee-haw, there a hee-haw, everywhere hee-haw. Old MacDonald had a farm. E-I-E-I-O. And on his farm he had a goat. E-I-E-I-O, with a ba-ba here and a ba-ba there, here a ba, there a ba, everywhere a ba-ba. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had a hen, E-I-E-I-O, with a cluck-cluck here and a cluck-cluck there, here a cluck, there a cluck, everywhere a cluck-cluck. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Let's do, let's do the Grand Old Duke of York had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill, and he marched them down again. And when they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. Alright, so let's get into our next storybook. Yesterday we did The Ugly Duckling. Today we're going to do Jack and the Beanstalk. Once upon a time, there was a poor widow who lived in a little cottage with her only son, Jack, who was a simple but kind-hearted boy. There had been a terribly hard winter, and the poor woman saw there would be no means of keeping Jack and herself from starvation, but by selling her cow. So one morning she said to her son, "I am too weak to go myself. Jack, you must take the cow to market for me and sell her." "Cheer up, Mama. I'll go and get work somewhere," said Jack. We've tried that before, and nobody would take you," said his mama. So Jack took the cow and left for the market. On the way, he met a butcher who had some beautiful beans in his hand. Jack stopped to look at the beans, and the butcher told the boy that they were very valuable, and persuaded the silly lad to sell him the cow in exchange for those beans. When he brought them home to his mama, instead of the money she had expected, she was very vexed, so she was very upset, and shed many tears, scolding Jack for his folly. He was very sorry, and when Mama and son went to bed sadly that night, their last hope seemed gone. At daybreak, Jack rose and went out into the garden. At last he thought, "I can sow the wonderful beans. Mama says that they are just common scarlet runners and nothing else, but I may as well try and see." So he took a piece of stalk, made some holes in the ground, and put in the beans. That day they had very little dinner, and again went sadly to bed. Knowing that the next day there would be none, Jack, unable to sleep from his grief and vexation, got up and down and went out into the garden. What was his amazement to find that the bean had grown in the night, and he climbed up and up till they covered the high cliff that sheltered the cottage and disappeared above it. The stalks have twined themselves together. The stalks had twined themselves together till they formed a sturdy ladder. It would be easy to climb it, thought Jack, and having thought of it, he at once resolved to do so. So climbed he did. He went up and up on the ladder like Beanstalk, till everything he had left behind him. The cottage, the village, and even the tall church tower looked quite small. And still he could not see the top of the beanstalk. Jack felt tired and thought for a moment that he would go down again, but he was very persistent and a very persevering boy, and he knew that the way to succeed at anything is to never give up. That's very true, baby. I don't care what you're doing. My father used to say that to us all the time as kids. When we were very little, living in the Gordon Place house, we only lived there till we were like 4 or 5. So we were very little. My father, because he had twins, would have my twin brother and I kind of wrestle. And it was so dumb because my mama would come in from the kitchen and say, "Stop doing that. One of them's going to get hurt." And of course, I was the female. Of course, it was going to be me. It was a dumb idea. My father would always used to tell me, because I always wound up crying, Are you gonna give up and sit there and cry? Like, what are you doing? So, and we used to call my father sir until I was 4. I tried to give you a kind of upbringing like me because I like to take you everywhere, but Mama's not stern like my father was. Like, I'm not gonna be like, you're gonna call me ma'am until you're 4, so you learn how to respect me. I think that my father's views are very good with that, but I just don't have the heart for it. I also celebrated your birthday every month on the 10th because I let you blow out as many candles as you want. You got a birthday cake every month on the 10th because, you know, Mama, when I was 10, we had a birthday party that year. We went to Skate Away and stuff like that. We got a cake. We went to Skate Away. It's just on our birthday itself. It was very important for us to be working in the house and cleaning up that porch. He wanted us to know that a day is just a day. So, you know, is a good learning lesson. But our mama, much like me, mamas have this thing to just wanting to make their kids happy. Just anything to make your baby happy, right? And, you know, that's instinctual. You want to see your baby just succeed and grow. And you're amazing, Karina. You have no idea how amazing you are, but you're amazing. And so that's why Mama was just like, oh, let's celebrate your birthday every single month on the 10th. And then your papa was like, you're ruining her birthday for her real birthday. And I'm like, no, every month is a party. Like, I just want to celebrate your life because I waited so long to get to have you. And then I don't get to have you right now. And it hurts. But let's go on with the story. So never give up. That's what Jack knew. So Jack might have been a simple young boy, but he knew never give up. That's very important. Never give up. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've been through. Never give up. Give it another minute. Give it another second. Give it another hour. Give it another week. Give it another day. Give it more time. Never give up. Your situation will eventually get better. Check in with yourself every single day. How am I doing today? I don't care who you are. Check in with yourself. How are you doing in this moment? And if you're not okay, that's okay. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to cry yourself to sleep every night if you have to. I do it. It's okay. It happens. But don't give up because the situation will eventually get better. I promise you. Never to give up. So after resting for a few minutes, he went on. What a good boy. He climbed higher and higher till he grew afraid to look down for fear he would become dizzy. Jack at last reached the top of the beanstalk and found himself in a beautiful country with fine meadows dotted with grazing sheep. A crystal storm ran through the pastures, and not far from the place where he had gotten off of the beanstalk stood a fine, strong castle. While Jack was standing, looking at the castle, a very strange-looking woman came out of the wood and advanced towards him. She wore a pointed cap of quilted red satin, turned upon with ermine, E-R-M-I-N-E. Ermine? Her hair streamed loose over her shoulders, and she walked with a staff. Jack took off his cap and made her a bow. "If you please, ma'am," he said politely. "Is this your house?" "No," said the old woman. "Listen, I will tell you the story of the castle. Once upon a time there was a noble knight who lived in the castle, which is on the border of fairyland, and had a fairy and beloved wife, and several lovely children. And as his neighbors, the little people, were very friendly towards him, they bestowed on him many excellent and precious gifts. Rumor whispered of those treasures, and a monstrous giant who lived at no great distance, and who... Oh, there they are. Look at her red cap and her blue cloak. She looks so pretty dressed like that, right? You look pretty no matter what if your heart's pretty, but she has some excellent taste with her cap. Was a very wicked being, resolved that he would take possession of them. So he bribed a false servant to let him inside the castle. When the knight was asleep, and he killed him as he lay, Then he went to the part of the castle which was the nursery, and also killed the poor little ones he found there. Happily for her, the night lady was not there. She had gone with her infant son, who was only 2 or 3 months old, to visit her old nurse who lived in the valley. See, the thing is, though, she lost her husband and her babies, so I don't know if that's happily. You know, she doesn't have everything that she just had. She lost everything. That's really, really hard for a mama who lived in the valley. And she had been detained there all night by the storm. The next morning, as soon as it was light, one of the servants who had managed to escape from the castle came to tell the poor lady of the sad fate of her husband and her pretty babies. She could scarcely believe him at first, and in her sorrow was eager at once to go back and share the fate of her dear ones. That's what mamas do. She was like, nope, they took them, take me too. Right? But the old nurse, with many tears, besought her to remember that she still had a child, and that it was her duty to live for his sake. Yes, it was, because that mama needs to nurse that baby. That baby is only 3 months old, right? So that mama needs to be there for that baby no matter what. Mamas will give up their entire lives to try and save their babies, whatever that means. The lady yielded to the reasoning and consented to remain in concealment at her nurse's house, for the servant told her that the giant had vowed if he could find her, he would kill both her and her baby. Years went by. The old nurse died, leaving her cottage and her few articles of furniture to her poor mistress, who lived in it, working as a peasant for her daily bread. Her spinning wheel and the milk of the cow, which had purchased with the little bit of money she had with her sufferance, for the scanty substance of herself and her growing son. There was a nice little garden attached to the cottage, in which they cultivated peas, beans, and cabbages, and the old lady was not ashamed to go out and work in the fields to supply her son's wants. Jack the poor lady is your mother. This castle was once your father's, and must again be yours. Oh, wow. Jack uttered a cry of surprise. My mother? Oh, ma'am, what ought I to do? Your duty requires you to win it back for your mother, the woman said. But the task is a very difficult one, and full of peril. Jack, you have courage to undertake it. I fear nothing when I am doing right. What a good boy. I fear nothing when I am doing right. But how do we live our lives, Karina? You don't hurt yourself, you don't hurt others, and you try not to let other people hurt you, right? It's a good way to live life. The problem with that is some people have expectations of other people, and then their feelings get hurt, right? The best way to live your life is to not have any expectations of other people. Like, I know sometimes you might want to talk with someone, sit with someone, be very close with someone. If they don't want that, that's okay. You don't have to. Everyone has a right to their privacy, to their space, and to their own bodies, right? So you have to just respect everyone around you. You have to try and respect everyone around you, and that's just a good way to live. And it's try not to let someone else hurt you, because sometimes other people do hurt you, and you have to take it with stride, right? And realize how short life is, and you realize that if someone's hurting you, it's because they're so hurt themselves, and then you just show love back, right? You'll always need to show love back. I fear nothing when I am doing right, said Jack bravely. Then said the lady in the red cap, you are one of those who slay giants. You must get into the castle, and if possible, gain possession of the hen that lays the golden eggs and the harp that talks. Remember, all the giant possesses is really yours. And she ceased speaking. The lady in the red hat suddenly disappeared, and of course Jack then knew she was a fairy. Jack determined at once to attempt the adventure. He advanced and blew the horn which hung at the castle portal. The door was opened in a moment by a frightful giantess, who, with one great eye in the middle of her forehead. So she was a giant with one eye, so she was a cyclops in the middle of her forehead. As soon as Jack saw her, he turned to run away, but the giantess caught him and began to push and pull him towards the castle. He, ho, he, ho, she, oh, ho, 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 ho. She laughed terribly. You can't escape to see me here. This is clear. No, I shan't let you go. I am overworked, and I don't see why I should not have a page the same as other ladies. And you shall clean the knives and black the boots and make the fires and help me generally when the giant is out. When he is at home, I must hide you, for he has eaten up my other pages, and you would be a dainty morsel, my little lad. While she spoke, she dragged Jack right into the castle. The poor boy was very frightened, but he struggled to be brave and to make the best of things. See, he's making the best of things. He's not simple at all. He knows not to quit. He knows that even when he's frightened, he's going to be okay, because he's going to make the best of things, even though he's getting dragged into a castle that used to be his family's by a giant that he is afraid of. Right? But he's still making the best of everything. I am quite ready to help you, and do what I can to serve you, madam, he said. Only I beg to be enough to hide me from your husband, for I shall not like to be eaten at all. That's a good boy, said the giantess, nodding her head. Come here, child. Go into my wardrobe. He'll never venture to open that. You will be safe there. She opened a huge wardrobe which stood in the great hall and shut him into it. The keyhole was so large that it admitted plenty of air, and through it Jack could see everything that took place in the room. By and by he heard a heavy thump on the stairs, like the lumbering along of the great canyon, and then voices booming. Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Wife, cried the giant, there is an Englishman in the castle. Let me have him for breakfast. You have grown old and not so smart, cried the giantess in her loud tones. It is only the nice fresh elephant stock which you smell. Sit down and have breakfast. And she placed the huge dish before him of savory steaming meat, which greatly pleased him and made him forget an idea of an Englishman being in the castle. When he had breakfasted, he went for a walk, and then the giantess made Jack come out to help her, which he busily did all day. She fed him well, and when evening came, put him back in the wardrobe. The giant came in to supper. Jack watched him through the keyhole, and he was amazed to see him pick up the wolf bone and put half of a fowl at a time into his enormous mouth. When the supper was ended, he bade his wife bringing him his hen that laid a golden egg. It lays as well as it did when it belonged to that partly knight, said he. Indeed, I think the eggs are heavier than ever. The giantess went away and soon returned with a little brown hen, which she placed on the table before her husband. And now, my dear, she said, I am going for a walk if you don't want me any longer. Go, said the giant. I shall be glad to have a nap in a little while. Then he took up the brown hen and said to her, Lay, and she instantly laid a golden egg. Lay, said the giant again, and she laid another. Lay, he repeated a third time, and again a golden egg lay on the table. Now Jack was sure this hen was the one of which the fairy had spoken. By and by the giant put the hen down on the floor, and soon went fast asleep, snoring so loudly that it sounded like thunder. When Jack perceived that the giant was fast asleep, he pushed open the door of the wardrobe and crept out very softly and stole across the room, and picking up the hen, hurried away. He knew the way to the kitchen floor, of which he found a jar. The way to the kitchen door, which he found a jar, so it was a little bit open. He opened it, then shut and locked it after him. He flew back down the beanstalk, which he descended just as fast as his feet would move. When his mother saw him, she wept for joy, for she had feared the fairies had carried him off, or that the giant, whom she had always secretly feared, had found him. But Jack put the brown hen down before her and told her that he had been in the giant's castle and all his adventures. She was very glad to see the hen, which would surely make them rich. Jack made another journey up the beanstalk to the giant's castle one day while his mother had gone to the market. But first he dyed his hair and disguised himself. The old giantess did not recognize him and dragged him in as she had done before to help with the work, but she heard her husband coming and hid him in the wardrobe, not thinking that he was the same boy who had stolen the hen. She bade him to stay quiet, stayed there, afraid of the giant would eat him. Then the giant came in, saying, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "Nonsense," said the wife. "It's only the roasted ox that I thought would be a tidbit for supper. A tidbit for your supper. Sit down, and I will bring it at once." The giant sat down, and soon his wife brought up the roasted ox in a large dish, and then began their supper. Jack was amazed to see them pick its bones as if it had been a small bird. And as soon as they had finished their meal, the giantess rose and said, "Now, my dear, with your leave, I am going to my room to finish the story I am reading. If you want me, call for me." "First," answered the giant, "bring me my money bags, that I may count my gold pieces before I sleep." The giantess obeyed. She soon brought 2 large bags. Oh no, I want the light on. That's better. Two large bags over her shoulders, which she put down at by her husband. "There," she said, "this is all that is left of the night's money. When you have spent it, you must go and take on another Barson's castle." "Then she shan't do it if I can help it," Jack vowed to himself. The giant, when his wife was gone, took out heaps and heaps of gold pieces, counted them, and put them in stacks, till he was bored. Then he swept them back into their bags, and leaned back in his chair, fell fast asleep, snoring so loudly that no other sound was audible. Jack stole softly from the wardrobe, and taking up the bags of money, which were really his own because the giant had stolen them from his father, he ran off. After descending the beanstalk, the giant, with great difficulty, he laid the bags of gold on his mother's table. She had just returned from town, and was crying because Jack was not at home. "There, mother, I have brought you the gold that my father lost. Oh, Jack, you are a very good boy, but I wish you would not risk your precious life at the giant's castle. Tell me how you come and go there again." So she's like, "Why are you getting me gold? I care about your life." Like, she doesn't care about the gold. She doesn't want the gold. She's like, you're such a good boy. Be careful with your life. What a good mama. And Jack told her all about it. His mother was very glad to have the money, but she did not like him to run any risk for her. But after a time, Jack made up his mind to go again to the giant's castle. So he climbed the beanstalk once more and blew the horn at the giant's gate. The giantess soon opened the door. She was very not so smart and did not recognize him. She stopped a moment before she took him in, because she feared another robbery. But Jack's fresh face looked so innocent, she bade him come in. And again she hid him away in the wardrobe. But by and by the giant came home, and as soon as he crossed the threshold, he roared out, "Fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be him alive or be him dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." "You not so smart, old giant," said the wife. "You only smell the nice sheep I grilled for your dinner." The giant sat down, and his wife brought up a whole sheep for his dinner. And he had eaten it all. He said, "Now bring me my harp, and I will have a little music while you take your walk." Oh, he was like, "While you take your walk." He's allowing her to take another walk. The giantess obeyed and returned with a beautiful harp. The framework was all sparkling with diamonds and rubies, and the strings were all of gold. "This is one of the nicest things I took from the knight," said the giant. "I am very fond of music, and my harp is my faithful servant." So he drew the harp towards him and said, "Play." And the harp played a very soft, sad air. "Play something merrier," said the giant. And the harp played a gay tune, a very happy tune. "Play me a lullaby," roared the giant, and the harp played a sweet lullaby, and at the sound of its master fell asleep. Then Jack stole softly out of the wardrobe and went into the huge kitchen to see if the giantess had gone out. He found no one there, so he went to the door and opened it softly. Then he entered the giant's room, seized the harp, and ran away with it. But as he jumped over the threshold, the harp called out loudly, "Master! Master!" The giant woke up. With a thunderous roar, he sprang from his seat, and the 2 strides reached the door. Jack was very nimble, and he fled like lightning with the harp, taking it to it as he went, for he saw it was the fairy. Talking to it as he went, for he saw it was the fairy, and told it he was the son of the old master, the knight. Still the giant came on so fast that he was quite close to poor Jack, and he stretched out his giant hand to catch him. But luckily, just at the moment, he stepped upon a loose stone, stumbling and fell flat on the ground, where he lay at his full length. Jack had just time to go on to the beanstalk and hasten down it. But as he reached their own garden, he beheld the giant descending after him. "Mother, mother," called Jack, "make haste and give me the axe." His mother ran to him with an axe in her hand, and Jack was, with one tremendous blow, cut through all the beanstalks except one. "Now, mother, stand out of the way," he said. Jack's mother shrunk back, and it was well she did, for just at that the giant took hold of the last branch of the beanstalk. Jack cut the stem through and darted away. Down came the giant with a terrible crash, and at that was the end to him. Before Jack and his mother had recovered from their alarm, a beautiful lady stood before them. "Jack," said she, "you have acted like a brave knight's son, and deserve to have your inheritance restored to you. Dig a grave and bury the giant, and then go and kill the giantess." "But," said Jack, "I could not kill anyone unless I was fighting with them, and I could not draw my sword upon a woman. Moreover, the giantess was always very kind to me. The fairy smiled on Jack. I am much pleased with your generous feelings, said she. Nevertheless, return to the castle and act as you will find needful. Jack asked the fairy to show him the way to the castle, as the beanstalk was now down. She told him she would drive him there in her chariot, which was drawn by 2 peacocks. Jack thanked her and sat down in the chariot with her. The fairy drove him a long distance till they reached a village which lay at the bottom of the hill. Here they found a number of wretched-looking men assembling. The fairy stopped her carriage and addressed them. My friends, said she, the cruel giant who opposed you and ate up all your flocks and herds is dead, thanks to this young gentleman. He is the son of your kind old master, the knight. The men gave a loud cheer at those words, and pressed forwards to say that they would serve Jack as faithfully as they had served his father. The fairy bade them follow her to the castle, and they marched there in a body. So in one body they all marched. When they arrived, Jack blew the horn and demanded admittance. The old giantess saw them coming for the thrust loophole from the turret loophole. She was very frightened, for she guessed that something had happened to her husband, and she came downstairs very quickly. She caught her foot in a dress and fell from the top to the bottom. When the people outside from that door was not open, they took crowbars and forced the portal. Nobody was to be seen, but on going into the castle they found the body of the dead giantess at the foot of the stairs. Thus Jack took possession of the castle. The fairy brought his mother to him with the hen and the harp. He had the giantess buried, and endowed to her to help those whom the giant had robbed. Before her departure from fairyland, the fairy explained to Jack that she had sent the butcher to meet him with the beans, to test what sort of lad he was. If you had looked at the gigantic beanstalk and just wandered stupidly about it, she said, I should have left you where your misfortune had placed you, only restoring her cow to your mother. But you showed an inspiring mind and a great courage and enterprise. Therefore you deserve to rise. And when you mounted the beanstalk, you climbed the ladder of fortune, and then took her leave of Jack and his mother. So this fairy had the gentleman that met up with Jack at the butcher shop give him the beans, right? And Jack took those beans home, buried those beans, bravely climbed up that beanstalk, and he now has a new fate in life, because he, even though he was scared, he did what he had to do. So the fairy tested him. Alright, baby, let's do... It's not really raining, but let's do We Sit and Watch the Rain as it falls from the sky, and we are glad to be inside where it is warm and dry. Oh yes, I do love the rain. It keeps the earth so clean and helps the pretty flowers grow from the mountains to the streams. Grandbaby, I just love you. I just love you. I have so much I want to teach you. I know that you'll learn things, but I see certain people in my life, people that I know, that walk through this life bitter. And I don't know if that's because they haven't seen enough heartache to really be like, wow, everybody's made up of the same stuff. Everybody has it hard. And you really have to count your blessings every single second of every single day. You really do. Just to keep yourself, you know, like, you are okay. You will be okay. Certain people are just bitter about things, and I don't know why. I never, ever, ever want you to let a situation, no matter how hard it gets, to make you bitter. I want you to stay sweet throughout your life. I really, really do. It's a hard thing to do, but it's a good thing to do. I just want you to know how much I love you. I love you so very much, and I never want you to give up. I never want you to quit anything. I just want you to keep moving forward with life. Even if you just need to take a break for a day, stay in your room, stay in your bed, it's okay. You know, because there's going to be a new day tomorrow. Every single day is a new day. Or if you just need to, when you get older, just go for a drive and, you know, just get away for a little bit. That's okay too. Just want you to know that I love you, and I miss you, and I can't wait to see you. I'm doing everything that I can, and I'm just trying to be patient. I love you, baby. Lila Tove, and good night to you. Lila Tove, may your dreams come true. We sing Lila Tove, may Israel protect you throughout the night, until we reach the morning light. Today is Friday, right? So dusk to dusk, from Friday at dusk to Saturday at dusk is Shabbos. We just can't wait for Shabbos. Just can't wait for Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom is the day of rest. Shabbat Shalom is the day we love best. Shabbat Shalom. Every Friday Eve we get that Shabbos glow. Shabbat Shalom is the day of rest. Shabbat Shalom is the day we love best. Shabbat Shalom. So why do we celebrate Shabbos? What is it? Why do we celebrate it? Shabbos is literally a day of rest. If your grandfather was alive, it'd be an actual day of rest. No cartoons on the TV, no doing anything. Like, and then after my papa got sick, though, he liked to go to New York every weekend. So it changed a little bit as we got a little bit bigger. But Shabbos is it's a day where you rest and you sleep and you can just catch up on things and you're with your family and you just show love, right? No matter what it is that you're doing with your family, you show love. It's a day of reflection and just taking in your week. And it's a good thing to do no matter what, whether you're Jewish or not. It's okay to reflect every week, take in your week, do prayers, and light candles and eat good food. It's a good thing to do. I love you, baby, so incredibly much. I miss you. And like Papa always used to say, Mama's his sun, Papa's my moon, and you're a rainbow, baby. We love you no matter what. I love you. My Karina, I love you.